So SIMULIA is the brand for realistic simulation, although that it's maybe not clear exactly what that means to a lot of people. The way I often explain it to friends of mine who aren't in engineering is trying to describe it as virtual test. The great example is sometimes people will see commercials where they're seeing vehicles crashing into a wall on the computer. Chrysler some years ago had a really nice commercial showing that, and I could very readily explain to people, this is basically what we do. We build the software that does that. It's not just limited to automotive crash. It's a variety of different tests that we can simulate. Certainly Abacus historically is known for having an offering across all of the different structural domains, but in addition to Abacus we have EyeSight, which can do a massive amount of design exploration and process integration, so driving not only Abacus but other partner products, in fact even competitors' products if our customers were to choose to do that. Really what it amounts to in going from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, the draftsman went from using drafting tools to using computer software, which is of course what CATIA was famous for. In the same way, in the last 20 years we've gone from being predominantly focused in automotive and other industries on tests and running these large prototype tests and pilot tests to instead moving those very much upstream into computer-aided engineering, and we are really the dominant player in automotive for computer-aided engineering. Some people would look at automotive excellence as being defined by the high-end vehicles, the luxury cars, but in fact some of the more difficult problems are often how do we go and for a quarter of the price make a good car rather than for $85,000 or $100,000. There's a lot less design constraints to make a great car. For a $15,000 or $20,000 price point, there are a tremendous number of design constraints keeping you from making a good car. And automotive excellence is there on both levels. If I have a large price point, then of course I want to go and have just the most wonderful driving experience that one can get at that price point. If I have a much lower price point, if I'm doing what some people might think of as a commodity car, which the reality is that's what most of the market is. The bulk of the people buying automobiles today, or buying motorcycles or any other transportation, are not spending these kinds of high price tags. They're spending much lower, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000. What is automotive excellence is being able to get the most out of that. If we're doing a small car, what advantages can we find in our design that maybe give us leverage over our competitor? And that is driven by a number of tools. That's not just SIMULIA, that's the entire DS portfolio, Dassault Systems portfolio is certainly going to drive those, but within SIMULIA, much of that is driven by upstream. How early in a design process can we impact the design in a positive and beneficial manner? Because the longer we wait, even weeks and months, we can lose real opportunities to impact really substantial design costs and design cost savings.